Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Oh, as you can tell, the macadamias are here in full bloom. It looks like it's a beautiful morning out there. I say it looks because when I was walking here this morning, there were some clouds, but it looks like the sun has poked through. People might call it cold. I call it brisk. I mean, anything below, like a 0 Kelvin, and it's brisk. Anything above 0 Kelvin is brisk. Anything below is even too cold for me. But no, it's a beautiful day out there. We have people here in the chapel. I almost said sanctuary. I guess it's a sanctuary of sorts, a chapel. And we are going to start off on page 68 with a little bit of gratitude, thanking God for restoring our soul, or our souls, right? Because we each have one, except on Shabbat, we get an extra one. We get a Shabbos soul. So, the Neshama Yatera in the Aramaic. Page 68, Modeh Ani. Modeh Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Modeh Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam. Shehechezarta bi nishmati behemla rabba emunatecha modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Let's just jump a couple of pages ahead. We'll continue to warm up our voices and get our souls woken up for davening. So we'll continue with Ma Tovu on page 74. Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berochastecha, ahavo ve'techa, eheshtachave, el heichal kodshecha, be'yiratecha, el heichal kodshecha, be'yiratecha. Adonai haftilon beitecha, Umekom mishkan kvodecha, ve'ani eshtachave v'yefraha, evrecha lifnei Adonai osi, va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai, ehi ratzon, Elohim, V'rochastecha aneni v'emet ishecha. Page 76. Do you know one of my favorite prayers? I guess it is a prayer. It begins with Baruch Atah and ends with Baruch Atah. That's called a long bracha. But it's more of a meditation, I would think, that the rabbi is thanking God for our bodies that work the way they're supposed to. That, I know more biology than the rabbis did, right? Just simply being a 21st century person. But they understood the fact that if things don't open when they're supposed to, and if things don't close when they're supposed to, you're going to have a very, very, very bad day. And so, page 76, Asher Yatzar, thanking God for human bodies. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher Yatzar et Adam b'chokhmah, uvara bo nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim, galui v'yadu lifnei chisei chevodecha, she'im yipatech echad mehem, o yisatem echad mehem, yi afshar lehitkayim v'la'amod lefanecha. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar, umafli la'asot. Page 80, Birkot HaShachar proper, the morning blessings. Beginning with the blessing, thanking God for giving us alarm clocks. or in the days of the rabbis, roosters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechti bina, l'havchin bein yom ubein layla. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz alamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten laev koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'einai, u'pnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani b'selem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And let's read together in the English near the bottom of page 86. O Adonai, our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel, may know you by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed Torah li'amo Yisrael. Elu Devarim, page 88. One of the great rabbinic texts, reminding us that ritual is not the only important thing in the tradition, that lots of mitzvot, the large majority of the mitzvot, the commandments that are found in the Torah, are bein adam lechavero, between each other, interpersonal mitzvot, with the smattering of ritual mitzvot. But unlike other religions in the area at the time, we have one code of law that takes the ritual and the ethical and intertwines them and does not break them down into two separate codes. And so here the rabbi is reminding us a little bit about this. Top of 88. Elu devarim she'en lahem shiur, she'adam ochel perutehem ba'olam hazeh, v'hakeren kayemet lo li'olam haba. Ve'elu hein, kibud av v'em, u'gemilut chasadim, v'hashkamat beit hamidrash, shacharit v'aravit, v'hachnasat orchim, u'bikor cholim, v'hachnasat kala, u'leviat hamet, v'iyun tefillah, v'haba'at shalom bein adam l'chavero, v'talmud Torah keneged kulam. Right? Talmud Torah connects everything, the study of the Torah, because that gives you the ritual and the interpersonal. Pages 90 and 92, Kaddish D'Rabbanan. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlik malchuteh, v'chayechon u'biyomechon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach l'olam l'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiram da'alma v'yimru Amen. All Yisrael v'al Rabbanan v'al Talmidehon V'al kol tamidei hod. V'al kol man daskin v'oraita. Di v'atra hadain v'di v'chol atar v'atar. Yehei lahon lahon shlama rabba. China v'chista v'rachamin. V'chayin arichin. Umzinei v'vichei ufrukana mikadam v'ahon v'yishmaya v'ara v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayin tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'gomav. U'brachamav ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru. Amen. We're moving out of Birkot HaShachar into the second part leading up to Shacharit proper, the Pesukei Zimmer verses of Psalm and Praise, longer thought pieces, longer ideas, developing our ideas of God and our relationship with God. And so the first part of Birkot HaShachar, largely done by ourselves. Pesukei Zimmer, we start to join in with the group. Page 94 at the top, Baruch She'amar. Baruch She'amar b'hayah olam, Baruch hu, Baruch Oseh Bereshit, Baruch Omer v'Yoseh, Baruch Gozer Mekayem, Baruch Merachem al haaretz, Baruch Merachem al habriot, Baruch Mishalem Sachar Tov v'Reyahav, Baruch Chayil Ad V'Kayam L'Netzach, Baruch Podeh Umatzil, Baruch Shemo. We'll continue in English. With songs of praise, we extol you and proclaim your sovereignty. For you are the source of life in the universe. One God, life of the universe, praised and glorious ruler. Your name is eternal. Blessed are you, Adonai, sovereign, who is glorified through praise. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mehulal v'tishbachot. Top of page 96. We'll spend some time with Psalm 92, the psalm that has been designated for Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom hashabbat, tov lehodot ladonai, ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha baleilot. Alei asur, alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. Alei asur, alei navel, alei higayon bechinor. איש כבר לא יודע, כיסיו לא יבין את זאת. צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרו Eloheinu Yahafrichu O Jehuvun Beseva Deshenim V'Ra'ananim Yihiyu Lehagi Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri V'lo Avlatavo. Right on the next page, 97. Psalm 145, with a little help from its friends, becomes Ashrei. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yehalelu Chasela. Tehillah David, Aromimcha Elohai HaMelech, V'avracha Shimcha Li'olam Va'ed. Gadol Adonai Lo Meod, V'ligdalato Ein Cheker. Hadar kivod hodecha, v'divrei niflotecha asicha. Zecher aftucha yabiu, v'tzitkatecha yiranenu. Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachamav al kol ma'asav. Kevod malchutecha yomeru, u'varatecha yedaberu. Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'mimshaltecha b'kol dor v'ador. Einei chol elecha yisaberu, v'yata noten lahem et ochlam be'ito. Tzadik Adonai b'chol drachav, v'chasid b'chol ma'asav. Chetzon yirei ad yaseh, v'et Shabbatam yishma v'yoshiem. Tehilat Adonai daber pi, v'varech kol basar shem kodsho li'olam va'ed. Nachnu nevarech Yaha, me'atav li'ad olam. Hallelujah. Did I skip one?
No, Scott hesitated.
Scott. And he wonders why. Why it's always 10 and then Scott.
Well, then I hesitated.
I don't
know.
The
The macadamia is always out protecting each other. I love it. Page 100. We'll continue with the Psalms. Psalm 150, which is the final psalm in the book of Psalms, unless you read the Apocrypha and then you find Psalm 151, which is nothing like the other Psalms. Page 100 at the top. Hallelujah. Hallelujah el bekodsho. Hallelujah birkia uzo. Hallelujah bigvorotav. Hallelujah kirov gudlo. Hallelujah beteka shofar. Hallelujah benevel bechinor. Hallelujah betofu machol. Hallelujah beminim biugav. Hallelujah betziltzalei shama. Hallelujah betziltzalei trua. Kol haneshama tehalel. Hallelujah. Kol haneshama tehalel. Hallelujah. Top of page 101. Nishmat kol chai tivarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. Leruch kol basar tifaher. Me'ara. Ein lanu melech elata. Elohe rishonim v'achronim. Elohe kol b'riyavot. Elohe yishavan. לך לבדך אנחנו מודים, אילו פינו לשרים תיהם, לא שוננו גינת המון גלה, סיתתנו שם. אין אנחנו מסכים. אחת מאלף אלפי אלפים. אם אבותינו ואמותינו ואימנו, על כן איברים שבאת בנו, ברוך ונשמה. הם יעמדו ויברכו וישתפכו, כי כל פרק חי יודע בכל אשר לך ושלום. כל פרק קדוש, כל עצמותי, תמון אדוני חמוך. אמר לדוד, ברכי נפשי את אדוני, וכל קרבי את שם קודשו. Top of 104. האל בתעצמות עוזך, הגדול בכבוד שמך, הגיבור לנצח והנורא בדורותיך, המלך היושב על כיסא רם ונישא, שוכן עד מהרו, וקדוש שמו. וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני לשרים נבא תהילה, בפי ישרים תתהלל, ובדברי צדיקים תתברך, ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל, ורינה יפאר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול הקדוש בשמיים ובארץ, כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, שיר ושבחה, הלל וזמרה, עוז וממשלה, נצח גדולה וגבורה, תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות, ברכות והודאות, מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודאות, אדון הנפלאות, הבוקר בשירי זמרה, מלך מלכי העולמים. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, חיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיא. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דהמירם בעלמא, ויאמרו amen. We are on page 108, the very beginning of the Shacharit service proper, 108, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu al mitzvot, kriyat shema lehamlicho b'levav shalem, u'lyachto b'lev tov. Ulovdo b'nefesh chafetza, Ulovdo b'nefesh chafetza. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us how to recite the Shema, to declare wholeheartedly God's rule, and to declare earnestly God is one, and to zealously worship God. Need a little bit of zealotry here. Page 110 at the top. The first bracha before the Shema. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, yotzer ur uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei hakol. L'Elohim aleichem v'rachamim, v'tavo machadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh Bereshit, ma'ravu ma'aseh Adonai kulam b'chokmah asita. Ma'aretz ki yanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shelach ma'aseh yadecha v'yom yorei or shasita yifaru chasela or chadash al tzion ta'ir v'nischeh kulam mehora li'ovro baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. Second bracha before the Shema, Ahava Rabbah. Ahava Rabbah Avtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla gedola v'teira chamalta aleinu. And together in English, how deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. V'ha'erenu b'toratecha, v'dahabek lebeinu b'mitzvotecha, v'yachel levavenu li'ahava u'yira et shemecha, v'lo nebosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel, le'olam va'ed, ki b'shem kodshecha hagadol b'hanora b'hatachnu, nagila v'nismecha v'yishuatecha, v'havienu l'shalom arba kanfot ha'aretz, v'tolichenu k'momiu li'artzenu, ki el poel yeshuot ata, ubanu v'charta v'kevartanu l'shimcha hagadol sela v'yemet, lehodot l'chal yahetcha v'yahava, baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shiftecha b'veitecha u'vlechtecha b'derech u'b'shofbecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, v'amarta lehem, v'asu lehem tzitzit, al kanfei bigdehem l'dorotam, v'natnu al tzitzit hakanav b'til techelet, v'haya lachem Litzitzit uritem oto, uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai, va'asitem otam, v'lo taturu acharei levavchem, v'acharei enechem, asher atem zonim achareihem, leman tizkeruhu, va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'tem kedoshim leloichem. Ahani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. V'yatziv v'ahuv v'chaviv v'nara v'adir tov v'yafeh. Hadavar hazeh aleinu le'olam va'ed emet alei olam. Okeinu tzvu Yaakov magen yishenu dor v'dor v'kayim u'shmo kayam v'kison nachon mochuto Talmud Kayamet, Udevarav Chahayim Vekayamim, Nemanim V'Nechamadim Lad Omei Olamim, Mitzrayim V'Alpano V'Nai Eloheinu Mideit Avedi V'Ditanu Al Zot Shikhu Ahudim V'Mumu El V'Natnu Yedidim Zmirot Shirot V'Tishbachot Brachot V'Hodot V'Melech El Chai V'Kayam Am V'Nisa Gadol V'Noam Mashpil Keim V'Makbia Shafavim Motzi Asirim Ufodeh Anabim V'Ozer Dalim V'Oner Lamo Be'ei Shalom Tehilo Le'el Elyon Baruch Hu Borach Moshe B'nei Yisrael Chanu Shira B'Simcha Rabbah V'Yamru Chulam Bichamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nohora tehilot osefele shira hadasha shivchu geuli l'shimcha al sefatayam yachad kulam hodu v'himlechu v'yamru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed Tzor Yisrael Kuma V'ezrat Yisrael Uvdechinu Mecha Yehuda V'Yisrael Go Aleinu Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Atah Adonai God Israel. We are at the Amidah, the central prayer for our morning service, known as the prayer, Hatfilah, as the Amidah, the standing prayer, or the Shmona Esrei during the weekend. During the week, which translates to 18 blessings, when there's really 19. They slipped an extra one in well after it was already called the Shemona Esrei. So we're going to begin on 124, and we're chanting together, 126, 128, and yes, even 130 with the Kedusha. We'll chant all of that together, and then we'll continue silently through the end on 142. And during that time, you can follow along or read along in the Hebrew, read along in the English, or offer up your own meditative prayer. But we'll begin together, 124. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Hagadol, Hagibor, Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Goel Ibnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagid, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Meitim Atarab Lahoshia, Mashib HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei Meitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohomech Noflim B'Rofech Oholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevorot, umidom melach, melech mimito mechayem, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'aman ata lachayot metim, baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hametim. Mekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו. Adir, Adirenu, Adonai, Adonenu, Ma'adir Shimcha b'chol haaretz. Baruch kivod Adonai, mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu, hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu, vehu Yashmienu, V'rachamav le'enei kochai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzion, Ledor vador, Hallelujah. Ledor vador nagid kohot lecha, ulanetzach netzachim kedushacha nahakdish, v'shitchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yelbush le'olam vahed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. So completing your Amidah, please take your time. We're going to continue on the top of page 132, reading that top paragraph together in English. Those who keep Shabbat by calling it a delight will rejoice in your realm. The people that hallow Shabbat will delight in your goodness. For being pleased with the seventh day, you hallowed it as the most precious of days, drawing our attention to the work of creation. Turn the page to 134 and let's read the paragraph in English together. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. All right, let's turn to pages 138 and 139. It's called Hoda'ah, often translated as thanksgiving or thankfulness, which is a good thing. And but it also requires us to do a little bit of what they call hakarat hatov, to recognize the good, right? So you can be grateful, but you have to recognize what you're being grateful for. And today, I think this is the most we've had on a Saturday morning service. There are 5 of us here today. There are 5 of us. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the beautiful day that's out there. And yeah, so again, it doesn't have to be big ticket items. It could just be, I mean, it's Saturday and you got to sleep in a little bit. There's something to be grateful for there. I get to hang out with the macadamias. I mean, come on, what's not to be grateful there? Right? All right. I'm Miranda. What did we call you? I forget. No, what? Oh, which nut was she?
Oh, I don't remember.
Did you even come up with a name for it?
I thought we had one for you, but all right. We'll brainstorm. Everybody will become either a nut or a legume. But let's read. We'll do this responsibly on 139, and then we'll each take one or multiple ones if we have. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
Modim anachnu lach.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements.
Modim anachnu lach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Modim anachnu lach.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding views not shared.
Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose.
Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'el lehodot. And let's close out on 140. A beautiful prayer for peace. Sim shalom, right? Place peace upon us. Place good peace and blessing upon us. Sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, v'harcheinu yotreinu kulanu ki'echad v'or panecha, ki v'or panecha nahatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Torah chaim, v'ahavat chesed, utzedaka uvracha, v'rachamim, v'rachamim v'chaim v'shalom, v'rachamim v'chaim v'shalom, v'tov be'enecha, l'baharech et amecha, Et Amecha Yisrael, Bechol leit ubechol shah, Bishlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamevarech et Amo Yisrael, Shalom. All right. Turn to page 253, the Mishaberach, the prayer for healing. Mishaberach, Avotenu v'Imotenu, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rachel, v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem, Ulachalimam, Ularapotam, Ulatzikam, Uyishlach Lehem Mehevar, Refuah Shlema, Min Hashemayim, Refuah Tanefesh, Refuah Taguf, Hashta Bagala Bizman Kariv, V'nomar, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. Let us all say, Amen. Turn to the prayers for our community. And Tam was the last one who had a responsive reading. Yes, back in the Modim. All right, Scott, pick us up with for our congregation.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us. Love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levacha v'yira na'avod. Miranda, prayer for our country, please.
Okay. Can I just be a bigger letters?
If you want, sure.
Okay.
Your choice.
Okay. Our guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant us leaders of wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Shalu Shalom Yerushalayim, Yishlayu Ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Sur Yisrael, B'Go'olo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reishit Smichat Ulatenu. Hagein Aleha B'Yavrat Chasdecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shlomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'Amitcha L'Rosheha, Sarveha V'Yoetzeha, V'Tatneim B'Eitza Tova Milfanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam Liyoshveha, V'Namar Amen. Sarah, would you the English, please?
May it be your will, our God and God of our ancestors, that you lead us in peace and help us reach our destination safely, joyfully, and peacefully. May you protect us on our leaving and on our return and rescue us from harm. And may you bless the work of our hands, and may our deeds merit honor for you. Praise to you, Adonai, protector of Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Shomer Yisrael La'ad. All right, friends. Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos. Slacker?
Yeah.
Oh. Me.
Not you. Never you.
Come on up and give a drosh. I'll just sit here. No. And you don't get this one.
He was slow.
He was slow. Out moving rocks again. For as long as I can remember, I have always been interested in languages. As many of you know, I grew up with two languages. I grew up with German and English. I remember learning the sounds and the rhythm of words and phrases, and I simply fell in love with the process. My pops would tell the story of how, as a toddler, I would sit by him and just say words over and over. Some people thought I did it to drive my parents crazy. I just loved the feel of the words in my mouth and wanted to make them part of me. And when I began to learn Hebrew, I had much the same fun as I did with German and English and all the other languages. And I continue to have fun with Hebrew. In this morning's parsha, we read a word that has given me a lot of food for thought over the years. It's not a show-stopping word. It's not, I'm not going to even say it's not an important word, but it's not a hapax legomena, and double plus points to people who know what that is.
Only mentioned once in the Torah.
Only mentioned once in any body of literature, not just in the Torah. But it's not a hapax legomena. It's not. It's not used in an arcane way, this word. In fact, it's really a basic word. And if you've studied Hebrew even for a week, you will know this word. Nevertheless, this word has given me some opportunity for deep thought. This morning we read, V'natnu ish kofer nafsho. Each person will give a ransom for their soul to God. Now, some of the words are packed with meaning. We have the word ransom, kofer. That's a word that we could spend some time with. And we have the word nafsho, which comes from nefesh, which means soul, but not necessarily the soul like the thing that animates us. Because in the Torah, they didn't know from souls. We got the soul idea of an eternal soul from really the Greeks. But don't tell anybody, because everybody thinks it's our idea. And we can speak about the word kofer and the word nefesh till Mashiach's site, right, till the Messiah comes. But I want to focus on the first word, v'natnu, means to give, notain, right? It's a basic Hebrew word. Even if you don't know much Hebrew, you know the word notain. In this week's portion, however, it's spelled vav nun tav nun vav. In Hebrew, it's a palindrome. The spelling of the word, same word, forwards and backwards, right? Here's my plug, a little early to learn Hebrew. If you read only the English translation, you miss this. You miss this palindrome because the word to give in English is not a palindrome, right? But the word v'natnu in Hebrew is a palindrome, and it's very important. Our Torah commentators notice this, right? This is not something that, you have to be a modern scholar of Hebrew to recognize. Medieval Torah commentators knew this. One states that the spelling shows us that whatever a person gives in tzedakah will be returned, because it reads forwards and backwards the same. You give to somebody, and ultimately that will come back to you. Right? You give tzedakah, and you lose nothing by it. That somehow what you gave will be returned to you. The Gaon of Vilna, a very interesting character in the history of Judaism, holds that this spelling teaches us that the one who gives may one day need to receive. Right? So the avenue of giving and receiving are there. In Masechet Shabbat, in the Talmud, it echoes these teachings by saying, give a poor man bread so that he will give bread to your children, because the world works in cycles, right? Someday you might be at the top, someday you might be at the bottom, right? The wheel of fortune, medieval literature would call that the wheel of fortune. But the idea of giving extends even further. A teacher of mine once put it this way: children learn how to behave by watching their parents and other adults. If a child sees an adult giving tzedakah without complaint or without pause, that child will grow up giving tzedakah as well. They will take part in the cycle of giving. And moreover, those who give may one day need to receive, and those who receive may one day be in a position to give. So hence the cycle of this world. But this isn't the only way we affect our children. Our children watch everything we do. The behaviors we show them they will in turn show to others. If they see us complaining about going to the synagogue or gossiping about others, they will take those behaviors with them when they go out into the world. Conversely, if they see that we are kind and considerate, that we speak well of others, and that we help others when needed, they too will follow suit. But I think there's an even deeper meaning to Venatnu. During the past weeks, we have been reading about how our ancestors built their community. We've read about how important it is to have community, and that we are not complete as individuals unless we are part of a community. And this is where Venatnu comes into play. For me, being part of a community means you give and take. You give your time and your talents to the community, and you take from that community a feeling of security and belonging. All too often we ask, what's in it for me? Or what can I get from being a member of a certain group? One answer that is often given is you get what you give. If you give little of yourself, then you get little from the community. If you give a lot, you get a lot. It's a two-way street. Venatnu, back and forth. Two sides to the same coin. We live in a time where it's common for people to want to be part of a community in name only. They would like to have the comforts of the community without having to do the work of the community. For me, being part of a community means not only being willing to take what the community has to offer, but also to give to the community in order to make it better. By giving to the community, one ensures that the community will not only have the resources for those in need, it will also ensure that the community endures and continues. The wisdom of our Torah speaks through the generations. Community has been part of our tradition from the very, very beginning. Moshe takes a ragtag group of slaves and turns them not just into a community, but into a nation. He did this by showing them that you have to put into the community in order to draw from it. This week, we see the half shekel and how that was how our ancestors became part of the community. By giving the half shekel, a person was able to count upon the community to help and to protect them. My father used to say, you get out what you put in. Or as the Beatles aptly put it, in the end, the love you get is equal to the love you give. If you put nothing in, you can take nothing out. If you put something worthless in, for example, a half-hearted effort, then the results will be worthless. We have to put something of worth in so there is something of worth to take out. So, when we ask ourselves, what kinds of communities do we want to live and work in? We also have to ask, are we ready and willing to make these communities a reality? Are we ready to give and not be so worried about what we receive? We all want to belong to something important and wonderful. American Express had a tagline, membership has its privileges. That's very true. Being part of a community does in fact have privileges. However, I think we could add another part to that tagline. Membership also has responsibilities. We can build a strong and vibrant community. We can do it. The question is, are we ready to put in the time, the energy, and the work? Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom and good Shabbos.
Oh, wow. Almost in time. Almost together. We're getting there. Oh, Miranda, you come from a Sephardic family, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right. You are part of the Shkedim, the almonds.
The almond.
That's great.
Yeah,
Right, the Shkedim.
I was saying walnut because walnut was my mom's favorite nut.
Well, you can be a walnut if you want.
I like almond.
I was thinking almond because of the Sephardic background. The Sephardim love almonds.
She
So-
put dates in almonds, so that's
That's lovely.
Okay, dates and almonds. There we go. All right. There we go. So we have the macadamias and we have the almond. We'll figure out one for you. What's your favorite nut or legume?
I think it should be something very local, like
Black walnut.
black walnuts. Yes,
Oh,
They're
something
all
very
the
Appalachian.
trees.
Well, for some reason, I think like black walnut. I think like, you know, Sleeping Beauty and the witch coming and saying, "Here, have a black walnut."
That might be a little poison.
I don't know. I don't know much about black walnuts.
The big balls that fall from the trees here, you crack them
With the
open.
spikes?
They're not too much.
wow.
No, those are sycamore.
They're like
fading
greenish and then they darken. There are people who travel around the region, and they make enough money from gathering them and selling them for the whole year's worth of their salary.
So one can eat them.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So black walnut
Die
isn't
out.
something like,
No,
you're not taking something like,
no.
what is it, nightshade or something?
They're very nice.
Nightshade.
They're very nice in cakes, for example.
Okay, all right.
Also, tomatoes are nightshades.
Yeah, yeah. Good point.
That's true. That's true. What was the other one? What's the other one? There was a famous book about it. It's a flower, but
White oleander?
what?
White oleander?
There you go. Thank you.
Almonds have a little bit of arsenic too.
I know. So do apple seeds.
Yeah.
So no, that's quite fine. So we have our macadamias, we have an almond, and we have a black walnut here, and we're just plain nuts. We're mixed nuts. We're mixed. Thank you, Miranda, for putting a positive spin on it.
We still don't know what the rabbi is either.
Oh, he's just plain nuts. All right. Now that we have done the business of Shabbat, making sure we all have our call names, we'll turn to page 282, and we'll start to close out with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu pahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, v'al haaretz, mitachat ein od. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. This week, we observed the following yard sites. Sarah Glick, Max's wife. Norton Kaplan, husband of Grace, brother of Pauline, Sam, and Jean. Elizabeth Landau Grow, Henry's wife, mother of Susan and Peter. Sean Chapin, Sherry Solachek's nephew. Claudine.
Sarah, She has a long name. Claudine Sarah Marie Shiraki Monroe, but.
Shiraki Monroe. Shiraki
Monroe.
Monroe. Thank you. Claudine Shiraki Monroe, Miranda's beloved
She
mother.
was from Tunisia. Yes, born in Tunisia.
Wow.
Truly a Sephardic Jew.
Yes, yes.
Walter L. Kaplan, Ruth Eggel's father. Nancy Sweeney, Scott Murphy's grandmother. Annie Gross, Diane Shadows' maternal grandmother, wife of Isaac. Dorothy Katz, relative of Eve Feinberg. Barbara Spindell, Michael Spindell's mother. Geraldine Booth Harris, daughter of Morris, sister of Lillian Fetter. Joseph Rothenberg, Joan Lerner's uncle. David Scarr, Tom's father, Gert's husband. Abraham Wolf Scher, relative of Sally Fallon. Elaine Skoll, wife of Barrett, mother of Rhonda and Diane. Max Foot, Frida Kagan's grandfather. Minnie Greenstein, Irving's grandmother. Lil Harrison, relative of Eve Feinberg. Anne Lazar, Maxine Frankel's mother. George Shadows, Steve's father. Harold Frankel, husband of Dodie, father of Linda and Alan. Benson Gellen, Ed's brother. Samuel Levinson, Frida Kagan's father. Mabel Poland, wife of Charles G. Poland. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May their memories be a blessing to us all, and may they all rest in peace. Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divrach Yeruteh v'yamlit malchuteh, v'chayehon u'v'yomehon u'v'chayeh d'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman karhi v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah v'orach l'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpahar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei d'kedusha, richu, ve'elam v'imkol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, v'amiram v'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, amen. All right, friends, we are almost complete. We have Ein Keloheinu followed by Kiddush, but a couple of quick announcements. Services tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Adult learning tomorrow, let my people know, continues with Who Wrote the Torah, part 2. So you don't want to miss that. Monday night, our deep dive into Genesis continues, and we are at the story of Noah, and it is a much deeper and interesting story than just some guy who builds a boat. Okay, that's Wednesday. Yes. From coast to coast, it's the Yiddish Choir with the most. It's the Yiddish Choir. Come get your song on. Meet old friends, make new friends. Make new old friends, or make old friends new.
I've been told that the fact that everyone's muted, but the song leaders, means that it's a selling point. I've heard this a few times in the past week. You will not be heard. You can just listen and sing and
If you're
sing.
shy, it's okay.
It's okay. It's perfect if you don't know Yiddish or music.
From Tam and Scott. From Tam and Scott, they say you don't even have to sing. I mean, talk about a community. Right? I mean, a Yiddish choir where you don't have to sing, but benefit from the beauty of Yiddish and Yiddish song. So, wow.
And Ladino song.
And Ladino. Oh, they're going to Yiddish and Ladino? Wow. Okay. All right. I could see it. What are we learning? What are we working on?
They've been living standards. We've got a growing body of people coming from LA that have been recruited from friends. So they're excited about this. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
To know some of the ones we've been doing for a while.
All right. You got to go back and visit the standards every once in a while, and then find the new stuff. So that is good. Thursday night we have a ritual committee meeting. Zoomish. All right, we'll be Zooming that. So if you're on the ritual committee, you'll get a Zoom invite. And then, we'll be back for Friday night next week. So lots happening this week. A couple of meetings, lots of learning opportunities. So please join us for any or all of the things that you find interesting or important. And important, not or important, and important. All right, page 322. Let's close out with Ein Keloheinu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadoneinu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshienu, Mi Eloheinu, Mi Chadoneinu, Mi Chemalkeinu, Mi Chamoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Emalkeinu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shektiru Adonai. Avoteinu. I lost it. Thank you. I committed the great sin of looking at the Ladino version that's in the Siddur and just lost it. I just lost it. Maybe we'll have, we have to find, do you know, do you have a tune for that?
Yeah.
So that would be yes. That's what, right? Because, you know, Scott has internalized the idea of being a doctor. And when you ask a question, do you know? Then he's like, wow, I get knowledge. The shin bone's connected to the knee bone, and the knee bone's connected to the.
So good with knowledge, let me tell you.
Sorry, but so yes, so we'll have Scott come up one of these days and lead us in that, because of the languages I know, the only language that is remotely Sephardic is Latin, and Ladino, because, you know, I'm not Sephardic. I don't know, but we'll come back and maybe we'll throw that in for a change every once in a while, a little bit of Ladino, which would be great. All right, friends, a little bit of Kiddush. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Zachor yom ha-Shabbat l'kadsho sheshet yamim ta'avod v'asita kol malatecha v'yom hashvi Shabbat l'Adonai Elohecha lo ta'aseh kol malacha ata ubincha v'itecha avdecha v'matecha v'hemtecha v'gercha asher b'sharecha ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'ha'aretz et hayam v'et kol asher bam v'yinach b'yom hashvi'i. Al kain beirach Adonai et yom ha-Shabbat vayikadshehu savri. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen.
Good to the last drop.
Yeah, it was a good week for that grape juice. It was a good week for that grape juice.
Yeah.
All right, we have some people who say hello through the interwebs. Let's see who they are. Oh, there's Mom, who we missed last night. Shabbat Shalom to all from Rabbi's Mom and Cliff. Thank you, Rabbi's Mom and Cliff. I just know her as Mom. Hope all have a great weekend and stay safe and warm. Thank you. Judy Lundy, Shabbat Shalom. Keep smiling. Well, if you insist. But thank you, Judy. You too. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Be safe out there, and we'll see you soon.